Embark on an unforgettable spiritual journey that will not only transform your understanding of the Bible but also unveil the hidden secrets within your essence. From profound teachings to divine encounters, this narrative invites you to question everything you thought you knew. Are you ready to embrace a kiss of truth? Today, we delve deeper into what the Bible represents and our essence at a moment when the full meaning of this sacred text resonated deeply within me. I shared my experiences with a circle of 12 men, sensing that upon their departure, one would spread my teachings. Subsequently, a splendid and admirable figure appeared before me to fulfill what was narrated in Mark 14. I offer you this sign, the one I greet with a kiss, he is the one, approach him swiftly, but do not let him escape. If this resonates with truth, cling to it, for it is the truth I will greet with a kiss. As he approached, this man extended his arms in veneration, enveloped me in an embrace, and placed a kiss on the left side of my neck. In this context, to help translates to exalting with open arms. It was Judas who wrapped his arms around me and kissed me. He tore my sleeve, revealing the arm of the Lord, thus fulfilling the scriptures, and leading us to ponder, who has believed our message? To whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? The arm symbolizes divine creative power. This was manifested through his magnificent images. A man of about 40 years, radiant, embodying everything the scriptures anticipated would happen with his arrival, stood before us. Trust in my words, for they are the truth. Set aside previous beliefs, but do not let go of the word of truth. I understand the challenge of abandoning belief in the historicity of the scriptures. My arrival in Los Angeles dates back to 1945. At that time, I was summoned by a prominent figure in the metaphysical realm to deliver a series of talks on the Bible. On the night of my arrival, I was scheduled to address between 400 and 500 of his disciples. Just minutes before taking the stage, this man pulled me aside to indicate that I could not discuss the non-historicity of the Bible, as he taught it as a historical record and did not wish to unsettle his audience. Gratefully, I assured him that, as his guest, I would respect his decision that night, but henceforth, I could not be dictated what to say. Then I remembered the scriptures, if it is right in the sight of God to listen to you rather than to God, that is your choice. I can only speak of what I have seen and heard. I am convinced that the Bible, beyond its historical accuracy, holds an eternal truth. The stories it contains are immortal and meant to be lived by all. The scripture is a revelation of truth that carries such certainty, it becomes indisputable. Hearing the truth from someone who has lived it may overwhelm you, but once experienced, doubt vanishes because you know the truth through experience. All narratives are true, though not in the way they were documented. They were not writing a secular history, but a divine or sacred history, eternal. It is not about events of the past or future. The climax has already been reached and continues to be reached at every moment. The Jesus of the Scriptures is among us tonight, and his Son, who testifies to his fatherhood, is hidden within you. In Psalm 54, Saul is informed that David hides within him, just as I am revealing to you now. David will emerge from you following an internal revelation, and upon witnessing David, you will see him standing upright. This is why my experience makes sense, as the symbolism used is perfect. Observe the posture of Christ when he meets David. He was seated, while David stood. The word Christ is interpreted as the Messiah before Saul. David announces the coming of the Messiah saying, "His countenance will resemble mine, he will be a man like me." You will love the Messiah, and he will love you eternally. This relationship between you and David is one of infinite and enduring love. Here, David reveals to Saul that he is the Messiah, for he is the Christ anointed by the Lord. Then, he affirmed, "A hand like this will open the doors to a new existence," and before him, he proclaims, "Behold the Christ standing." But Saul could not understand. Those who remember this point do so because it conflicts with their entrenched conceptions of Jesus. They consider him to be the Christ, but I assure you, Jesus is God the Father, whose ultimate revelation to man is the gift of himself. God gives himself to you by sending his Son into your heart, who cries Father, thus unveiling his true identity. Until then, you do not know that you are Jesus and remain confused by hearing various voices speak about it, only from the platform you attend to listen. However, I would never barge into your home to offer this information. It would be an act of folly and utterly inappropriate. It would be like despising my pearls, casting them before those not yet ready to receive them, so as not to disturb their light. But those of you who possess this knowledge are called to express what you know. And those who feel compelled to teach, transmit the true words of the model I have outlined, even if you modify the model. Paul referred to the model as my gospel. Paul took pride in his Jewish heritage, declaring, "Born of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin, a Pharisee among Pharisees." Then, everything was revealed to him, and he understood the non-historicity of his sacred book, but its truth. Someday you will experience the state of Abraham and understand what faith truly is. Upon witnessing that imposing man leaning against a tree, you will see a serpent coiled around its trunk. The serpent will display a human face with the wisest expression. In Genesis, the serpent is described as the most cunning of all God's creatures, and you will notice that Abraham's gaze projects through time, as recorded in the book of Galatians. The scripture, anticipating that God would justify humanity through faith, announced the gospel to Abraham beforehand. Thus, before the events occurred, Abraham Finn was revealed to him, and upon observing him, your focus is not on spatial distance, but on time. The tree under which Abraham finds himself is not just a physical entity but a symbol of the human brain, with its intricate branches mirroring the complexity of human thought and consciousness. Witnessing Abraham under this tree, you are not merely observing a historical figure but are invited to witness the genesis of a journey that begins with wisdom, represented by the serpent, and faith, embodied by Abraham. The transformation of Abram to Abraham, with the addition of the letter H symbolizing grace, signifies the infusion of divine grace into humanity, marking the commencement of a profound spiritual journey. As we navigate the scriptures, it is imperative to understand that we are reading about infinite states of consciousness that are eternal. The realization that you are Jesus, and in encountering Christ, you meet the anointed of the Lord, who is David, opens a pathway to a deeper understanding of the divine narrative. David, in spirit, will reveal himself to you and call you Father. This revelation challenges our conventional understanding of the relationship between Father and Son, reminding us that I and my Father are one. Whoever sees the Son sees the Father. This principle is crucial in interpreting the Scriptures, offering a lens through which the divine message unfolds in its fullness. Embracing the insights shared tonight simplifies life, as it shifts the responsibility onto your shoulders. Knowing that you are the Lord, that all things are possible because you are all imagination, and that imagination creates reality, empowers you to envision any reality and hold it with faith. My personal experience in 1943, after leaving the army and searching for an apartment, serves as a testament to the power of imagination and faith. Despite initially paying more than we intended, my steadfastness in what I imagined led to an adjustment in rent that reflected our original agreement. This experience underscores the fidelity of imagination when embraced with unwavering faith. I urge you to set your goals high, assume the feeling of having achieved them, and immerse yourself in that feeling. Persistence in this practice ensures that nothing in this world can take away what you have assumed. Yet, the most crucial realization is that within you lies God's plan of redemption, and it is He who unfolds. God descended into the world and took residence within you. Discovering who He is, as revealed in you as an individual, unveils the divine nature. Thank you for joining us, for listening. I hope you have found value in the content shared. As you reflect on these teachings, remember that the journey of spiritual awakening is not a solitary path but a shared voyage of discovery, where each insight, each revelation, brings us closer to understanding the divine essence that resides within us all.